Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Nick.
And you're listening to It Takes Two, the podcast where two people take two movies with the same plot or premise and watch and discuss them.
Discussed them.
No, discuss them.
In this episode, we're covering off 1987's Masters of the Universe and 2026's Masters of the Universe.
Yay! We're not doing this as a remakes episode. We're doing it similar to the Super Mario Brothers episode we did, and I feel like it's going to be very similar to that. Except that we actually liked the modern movie.
Did we? Okay.
Oh, you didn't like it? Oh, this is going to be fun.
It was fine. I'm going to put this out here now. Spoilers for a movie that came out pretty recently.
Well, here's the thing. We're recording it when it's just come out. This episode is actually not coming out for 6 weeks after we're recording it, so...
It's still pretty new.
Yeah, it'll be still pretty new, but people will have had a chance to watch it.
Yeah. You had your chance. Your chance is over. Yeah, so obviously spoilers. Where do you want to start? Because I'm going to come right out the bat and say I preferred the 87 movie.
The 87 movie is fun.
The 87 movie is fantastic because it is at that era where you don't need any exposition whatsoever. It is just like, you already know who all these people are, so therefore here's a story that happens involving all the people you know and love. And
in fairness, in 87 that was true.
Yeah.
Because the cartoon had been going for a while. And people knew.
Honestly, sitting there and watching both these movies, I realised I have no idea about any of this franchise whatsoever.
Yeah, literally, absolutely. I have realised that my entire knowledge of Masters of the Universe comes from the 1987 film, which I watched on repeat as a child. I have never seen the cartoon.
Yeah.
I've seen clips primarily of Skeletor from the cartoon because I think he's very funny.
Yeah.
And I love his dialogue, and I do really appreciate that they use like cartoon accurate dialogue in the 2026 film. Because obviously in the 87 film you've got Frank Langella playing Skeletor like he's trying to get an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy but works really well. Whereas in the 2026 movie is super self-aware. And it references like so many He-Man memes.
Yeah.
And it's, and also like they play off the fact that the characters all have really stupid names by having it be like, these are the names that Adam made up for them as a child trying to remember them when he was separated. Yeah, so I appreciate that about it. I think it's a fun, dumb movie, and I enjoyed watching it.
It was fun and dumb.
Which is not how I felt about the Super Mario Brothers movie, so that's what I meant by that.
It's interesting because I feel like the genre itself is very weird in this day and age. It had some Thor-esque vibes to it. I thought when we were watching the original, I was like, I was thinking about the fact that people talk about the original, like the 2010 Thor movie being the same plot as Doc Hollywood. Yeah. And I was like, no, it's Masters of the Universe. Yeah. And then when we watched the new one, I was like, this is very Thor, actually. Yeah. You just lump Thor in with these movies. It's also the very much of like, we have spaceships, we have lasers, yet the main guy is just a stupid himbo with a sword, and you're
I love it. Nick can testify to this, that I was on the bus home from the cinema, I was looking up a diagram that I've seen before, a Venn diagram someone did of like the difference between a himbo, a hunk, and I can't remember what the third one is.
I can't remember.
I think I still have it open on a tab because I knew I wanted to talk about it. A himbo, a hunk, and just... it was this one... Sorry. So it's... The Venn diagram is kind, beefy, stupid.
Yeah.
If they're kind and beefy, they're a hunk. If they're kind and stupid, that's a decent man. If they're beefy and stupid, that's a jock. And then if they're all three, that's a himbo.
Yeah.
And I think... watching the 1987 Masters of the Universe He-Man, or Prince Adam, is actually quite intelligent.
Yeah.
Both, like, actually intelligent and emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
And, like, it will be a good leader in Eternia, right? And it all makes sense. In the 2026 one, they just full-on leaned into himbo.
Yeah.
That man is an idiot. He's not even beefy until he gets the sword as well. Like, the fact that kind of annoyed me, but it was like very funny because, again, it's being very self-aware.
Yeah.
That he clearly is actually
huge.
He clearly is, like, hunky or beefy.
Yeah.
He is like a muscle man, and they just put a shirt on him and pretend he's not.
Yeah.
And they have him, like, go to the gym and not be able to lift a weight. But, like, story-wise, it doesn't make sense because, so, in the remake, so in both movies, Adam ends up going to Earth from Eternia.
Yeah.
And then needs to get a magical item to get back to Eternia.
Yeah.
But in the 1987 version, that happens in, like, a day.
Yeah.
In the 2026 version, he goes to Earth as a child, and then spends 15 years lost on Earth, and, like, is raised as an Earth human. But, like, so he's had 15 years where he is desperately trying to keep fresh in his memory that he is from Eternia. It is real. He needs to find the magic sword. He needs to go back and become, like, the big hero and save his home planet and his family. And yet he apparently doesn't ever go to the gym.
Yeah.
Or, like, do any training. He doesn't, like, learn fencing. He doesn't do anything to, like... He
works in HR.
He works in human resources. Yeah, the plot of the 2026 Masters of the Universe is a HR guy goes to, like, dethrone or, like, to take down a bit, like, a abusive boss who has an executive assistant who lied on her resume.
Yeah.
That's, like, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it baffled me that, like, in 15 years on Earth, he never once tried to train in fighting.
Yeah, it's very...
And then, of course, he clearly is muscle, but they pretend he's not until they rip their shirt off when he gets the sword, and he's like, whoa, look at these muscles. It's they were obviously there the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, he is the opposite of John Connor. It's such a weird, like, because the 87 one is such an enjoyable film, because it just, like, it doesn't give you anything. It just throws you in to the deep end. Literally, like, Skeletor's invading, and they've lost. And it's just like, oh yeah, here's the girl you know her name of, and here's the guy Man-at-Arms, and here's He-Man. Let's make up this random character for the movie who apparently makes, like, interdimensional gateway portal-y devices.
You know why they made him up, right?
Why?
So they made him up because he kind of is a stand-in for an existing character from the cartoon, but the character from the cartoon is constantly floating, and they didn't have the budget to do the special effects, so they had to make a new character that didn't require special effects. Yeah, that's it.
They were like, let's stick a person with dwarfism
into some prosthetics.
And make them act weird, and then there we go, there's the plot.
Yeah, literally, that is the reason that character, Gwildor, exists. I can't remember the name of the character he's replacing, but, like, the whole reason he exists is because they didn't have the budget to do special effects of someone floating around.
The other thing that movie has that the other one doesn't is a very, very young Courtney Cox.
Yeah, I had forgotten she was in it until I was telling my mother that we were going to do this episode, and I said we're going to watch the 80s Masters of the Universe, and she said, the Courtney Cox film?
She was 23 in that movie.
Yeah.
And she looks like she's 17.
Yeah.
It's crazy how young she looks.
Yeah, I mean, she's playing a 17-year-old, or an 18-year-old, so that makes sense. Yeah, she's a baby.
The main plot of the 87 one is completely insane.
Yeah.
Like, if you ignore the He-Man part and you just focus on the human part, it is a deranged storyline.
Oh yeah, everyone's character arc is nuts.
Yeah.
So the plot is basically are we just going from the human perspective?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's ignore ignore Eternia and He-Man and everything.
Yeah, because it's not relevant.
From a human perspective, this 18-year-old is planning to break up with her boyfriend on prom night and move away from her hometown because her parents died in a car crash because she wouldn't go... Oh, no, sorry, in a plane crash. A plane crash because she wouldn't go to the beach with them.
Yeah.
And then her boyfriend knows that she's going to break up with him, but also is in a band. And then they find this weird magical item, and he decides it's a Japanese synth that he found in a graveyard.
In a crater.
In a graveyard. He's like, must be a Japanese synth. Yeah. And then he brings it to like a synth shop and is like, look at this. And the guy's like, I've seen those before. When clearly he hasn't.
Yeah.
And then like they open a portal and they're like, whoa. And then aliens arrive from their perspective.
Yeah.
And there's good aliens and bad aliens. They fight the aliens, and then the aliens can only get back to their home world after this item is destroyed if this guy can remember like 5 notes and play them on a synth.
Yeah.
And that's how he saves their planet.
It's also the fact there's a point in time where they're like holding off the army inside the music shop.
Yeah.
And they're like locked in the back trying to figure out the tome. And everyone just starts losing it. Like every sort of stressful situation you can put in like a CW show, any of those like survivor apocalypse movies where like we're safe in here, but not for long. Let's turn on each other instead of, like, helping.
Also, there's...
And she gets, like, gaslit by Evil Lynn, who, shapeshifts into her mother and is, like, beckoning her outside. And she's just like, oh, my God, you didn't die. And it's like, yes, we've been working on a special mission for the government. You have to go get that thing for us. Okay, dead mum.
Also, there's, like, a police officer who... is convinced that they have burned down the school, because the school does burn down. The aliens did it, but he's convinced that these kids did it. And then he, like, follows them around and then ends up traveling to the other planet with them and then just, like, marries a random Eternian and is like, no, I'm going to live here now.
Yeah.
And that's the end of his story. And it's Mr. Strickland from Back to the Future.
My favourite part about Mr. Strickland... It's just a moment where they're, like, encircled by the bad guys.
Yeah.
And he just unleashes his true inner, like, Cold War era American.
Oh, yeah.
And just starts blasting everybody.
Yeah.
Like a badass. And you're
Absolutely. He does that in Back to the Future, too, as well. I believe when they go to
the... He shoots aliens.
No, it's not aliens. But when he just starts shooting. Yeah. When they go to, like, alternate 1985... and he's living in like a slum area, and they make a noise, and he comes out and just starts firing, I think, and they're like, Principal Strickland. So that's just what he was doing in the late 80s in films, I guess. Evil Lynn is fun.
The original, yeah.
No, both for different reasons. So Evil Lynn in the original is actually like super competent.
Yeah.
So I've forgotten the name of the actress who played her, but she said that she tried to play her like Lady Macbeth. That she's like super in love with Skeletor.
Meg Foster.
She's great. By the way, the other thing about her is that her eyes just look like that.
Yeah, she's got like the blue eyes.
She's got really, really electric blue eyes and really small pupils.
Yeah.
And just naturally. So they were like, great, we don't need to do any special effects. She looks super cool. But she played the role as if she's like in love with Skeletor and will do anything for him, and then slowly realizes that actually his ambition is above his care for her and the others, and, you know, eventually comes to a realization where she's like, it's not worth anything because this man doesn't care about me and I'm going to be discarded as soon as he gets what he wants, and then just like ditches him, and he only starts to lose when she pulls her guys out of it.
Yeah.
But she is actually like super confident, like when she, you know, tricks Julie and stuff like that. In the 2026 one, she's very fun.
Yeah.
I like Evil Lynn I feel like Alison Brie was good casting. But she's very cartoony and absolutely cannot do what she says she can do. She's just outright...
Yeah.
She's just outright lying on her CV. She's being like, oh, don't worry, I just need to go to the Great Castle Grey School, and then there's a ritual I can do. It's fine. Or like when he's like, what's this guy's name? And she's like, oh, Moss, man.
Yeah.
It's like she doesn't know what is going on at any time. She doesn't know how to do her job. She can do like one spell well, and then she gets very giddy about it, even though Adam breaks it when he's trapped under it. She's very funny.
It's very funny. The whole like, from what I understand about the franchise, it is very Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh yeah.
As like things will happen, but they have no overarching.
You know
like,
what it started out as, though, right?
What's that?
The toys came first.
Right.
So it was a Mattel toy line.
Yeah, because it's made by Mattel.
Yeah, so it was they literally made these toys just as toys.
Yeah.
And then they were like, let's make a cartoon for it to help sell the toys. Let's make a live action film to help sell the toys. Shockingly, this movie has come out shortly after Mattel had success making a Barbie movie.
Mattel had sex with Barbie.
No,
Breaking news from the It Takes Two podcast.
After Mattel had success making a Barbie movie that like made billions.
I think like if we're gonna touch on the Barbie movie, let's touch on the Barbie movie.
This definitely has a similar vibe.
It has a similar vibe. It's so unbelievably stupidly aware.
The Barbie movie?
The Barbie movie.
So is the He-Man movie.
And that's why they work.
Yes.
Because they aren't trying to be... This is why I feel like a few of the Thor movies have been good and a few of them have been bad, and you can be at home and decide which ones I'm talking about. Or wherever you are. You don't have to be at home to be listening to the podcast. It's that very much like... It's one of my favourite lines from the Barbie movie is when Ken, played by Ryan Gosling, confesses to Barbie, played by Margot Robbie, that he lost interest in misogyny when he realised...
In the patriarchy.
Patriarchy, when he realises it wasn't about horses.
Yeah. Because,
like, that is... The problem is everybody is a superhero these days. And we've just finished... I don't know how many times I've brought this up on the podcast recently. We've just finished the Fast 10 movies. All 10 of them. And you go from, like, these are, like, one of them is a cop, and one of them's, like, a diehard street racer with an ambiguous race and background. Everybody's a racist because they love race wars. And, you know, that's the first movie. The second movie is somewhat, like, on the guides. Then you get to the last three, and you're like...
In F9, they shoot a car into space.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
That like, tells you what you need to know about how the trajectory of these films.
But the thing that I'm getting to is every hero these days, because of the ego of the player... the actor playing them, because of like backlash when people show humanity in their characters. You were reading out like weird tweets from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson about how he was pissed off at everybody, and he was calling them like something. My brain went to jabronis because that's what he used to use when he was the wrestler.
I can't remember, but it was like something like that.
He was just like pissed off at everybody involved with the movie, and that's why he wasn't like in any more of them. But it just felt like they're all invulnerable the entire time, and it happens with the like the Expendables universe where no one can get hurt even though they're in gunfights the entire time. And I feel like watching these movies in comparison is just so much fun because like people used to get hurt in movies. Like I think that's why John Wick's so successful is because he actually shows injuries And he is eventually slowed down. He's not like, just walking off like a hail of gunfire, or, everybody is standing in a room with no cover, everybody unloads full auto on each other, but it's only the bad guys that get hurt. And you're like, this is some bullshit. Like, this is some, like, let's just put reality in a box and then send that box upstate to retire on a farm. Because it is just so unbelievably unhinged. And I feel like with these movies, like, people show injury, people get hurt, there is, like, reactions to things. Like, it is over the top, it is silly. Having He-Man just, like, punch a dude off, like, some sort of floating disc and then fly around shooting a bunch of people.
Oh, yeah.
And they all explode with sparks, because that was, like, the era of the time, because everyone shot lasers. But, like, when he got shot in the arm and, like, he was actually injured. When Courtney Cox's character's injured, she's actually injured. She's,
like, properly injured.
You have...
She has that, like, horrible...
Yeah, well, her skin's melting
toxic off. Burn thing that they need to... And they need to get her back to Eternia to, like, help her, because otherwise it's going to spread.
Yeah.
Ugh. By the way, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was calling everyone candy asses.
Oh, there we go.
So that's what it was.
Fair enough. Jabronis is also funny. It's so much fun. It is very much switch off your brain, take handfuls of popcorn at a time, slurp your over-ice drink, and just enjoy yourself. Because, like, for most people at the moment, the world sucks, and you kind of just need, like, a little bit of, like, brain off, disconnect. Silliness.
I'm glad because I thought this was going to be a jumbo popcorn film, and I'm glad it was.
Yeah.
That we were like, let's make the effort. Let's go out.
Yeah.
To big cinema. Let's get jumbo popcorns.
Can we talk about our cinema experience for a second?
You talk about the guy who sat next to us.
Okay, so before you go, these elitist dickheads. Don't like people sitting next to them in a movie theater.
In fairness, I thought he was, because he was scrolling on his phone beforehand, and I was like, if he's scrolling on his phone during the film, I'm going to be so upset.
The thing is we went in the middle of the day, and we were like, it was us and like there was 5 people in total in like a, 100-seater?
Yeah. And someone sat like one seat over from us.
It was like
in this totally empty cinema, and not only that, it's a cinema that has an aisle on either side of the middle section, right? Yeah. And rather than go across and walk up the other aisle, he came up and walked across and stepped over it, like didn't even give us room to move our legs out of the way, stepped over both of us, and then went over one seat and sat down.
Yeah.
And didn't like move when didn't go like, oh, no one else is coming to this movie, I can sit wherever. And then, like, was dancing along with all the music, which I thought was very funny. But at least he wasn't on his phone. Because if he had been on his phone, I would have been like, hey, can we get up and go?
Yeah.
But I just thought it was so funny that... Because at that point, the other 2 people who came to the movie weren't even there yet. So it was literally only us in the cinema.
Yeah.
And this guy came up and stepped over us and sat one seat over.
It was so weird.
It's whatever. It's fine. Yeah. It's just strange. Just a strange experience.
Yeah, very weird.
Shout out to that one guy.
Yeah.
Seeing Masters of the Universe at 3 p.m. on a Friday.
We've had some weird interactions with people in movies. There was like... when
we went to Way of Water and the lady kept shouting at the screen.
Yeah, we were at Way of Water and the lady was like screaming at the characters to do stuff. And you were looking at me like... Are we with crazy, like, is there crazy people in the room with us? When we went to Avatar 3, Fire and Ash, you spent some time watching a lady taking Instagram reels or something?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine and there was, like, a mum and her teenager in front of us and they got up and walked out during the first fight?
There was, like, such a, like... weird moment of just like, oh no, this is too violent, we're leaving. It's like, we
didn't even get through the opening song.
Yeah. It's just Deadpool like wearing adamantium that he's like grave robbed out of Wolverine's grave and is just like beating up time traveling guys. It was very weird. We've been in some weird situations in movies. Yeah.
Anyway, back to the movies.
It was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, I really liked it. I do think it's Skeletor is a point of contention for me because I'm not a Jared Leto fan. And I feel like someone else possibly could have played him better, but I also think that the character was well done. I think the character was well written. And I think he tried to do like a serious voice for it, and I don't know if that worked or not, but I really appreciate the dialogue. My favorite line in the movie is that he does say, "You boob, you muscle-headed milk toast," but he delivers it like he's in a deep voice, doing it very seriously. But props to the writers.
So the quote that I heard recently about the casting of Jared Leto is Jared Leto has been method acting because he's been playing an evil skeleton like for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, also apparently in this one, because the skull head was obviously CG.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was just like was a suit.
Yeah.
But because his face wasn't going to be in it, apparently he played Skeletor with blood on his face, just to be like scarier or more intimidating. It's like trust your fellow actors to fucking act. I just don't like Jared Leto.
That's like what you said about like him.
I like the CG though. I think they did a good job with how Skeletor looked.
Yeah, like I the thing is like going back to the 87 one, Skeletor is portrayed like Shakespearean.
Yeah.
He is over the top evil. All of the lines are so punchy. His performance through the prosthetics is insane.
What's fun is Frank Langella took that role instantly, by the way, because his son was a He-Man fan and was like, yes. But he wanted him to look like he did in the cartoons, and the director said, keep your clothes on, we don't want Skeletor to be sexy. So he had like worked out for it and everything, I think. He was going to be like buff Skeletor, and they were like, no. We don't want a sexy Skeletor, sorry.
You can't have a sexy villain.
You can't have a sexy Skeletor.
But he's playing it so like they're both playing it to their heart's content. But like I feel like just Jared Leto poisons everything he touches, and it's kind of like without the CGI face, it would have been like, oh.
Yeah, I am glad that we didn't have to see Jared Leto's face. Yeah. But I think there were other actors they could have given it to who could have done an equally good job or a better job. But I do appreciate the writing, and I don't think Skeletor is bad. I just wish it wasn't Jared Leto.
Oh, he's a bad guy.
Oh, yeah. No, but there is a line around that as well. Skeletor dialogue is maybe the best thing about the movie, to be honest. Oh, and Adam being a full-on himbo.
Yeah.
Because there is a line where he says, "Face me like a man," and Skeletor says, 1, I don't have a face, and 2, I don't want to. Anyway, Adam being a himbo is so extra funny because they try to make the message of the movie be you don't need to be a fighter or a buff guy to help people. Yeah. Like, that's apparently what the message of the movie is. So it's like, it's about him having the heart and stuff, and then it's like, as soon as he gets the power, he becomes a buff guy and fights everyone.
Yeah.
He, like, rips a guy's arm off in 2 seconds. And you're like, wait, how is the message of this movie like, you don't need to be a fighter to help people? And then it's like...
But it does help.
But you gotta be a fighter if you want to help these people.
Yeah.
But actually, in this specific case, you do need to be a fighter to fight these people.
The toys, the physical toys writing the story makes so much more sense because, like, none of... Like, the costuming is done very well in both of these movies.
Yeah.
I feel like the very small amount of CGI used in 87 is kind of forgivable because it is, like, that very nostalgic era of just, like, over-the-top lightning... being everything, you know, when people are moving and it's clearly like CGI, like they're models, like nothing moves on them, which I feel like today people like mess around with too much and they look really like like FMV moments in video games.
There's a lot of practical effects in
both
movies.
Yeah, and the practical effects are really, really good. Yeah. It's so enjoyable. Like, 87 must have to go into the rotation at some point because I haven't seen it for probably over 20 years.
Yeah, same. And like I said, I watched it a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I have very strong memories of watching that movie. To the point, I discussed this with you, and then I was worried that I had made it up, but no, it's a post-credit scene that, like, at the very end of the 87 Masters of the Universe, Skeletor, like, bubbles up out of the lava or whatever he's been thrown in and says, "I'll be back."
Yeah.
And for years, I did not have Terminator as a frame of reference. And when people quoted Terminator, I thought they were quoting Masters of the Universe. And then it turns out Masters of the Universe was referencing Terminator. And they did put a post-credit Skeletor scene in the new one, which I appreciated. I'm a little sad he didn't say "I'll be back," but maybe they didn't want to do that. But instead, Evil Lyn gets his skull and he laughs.
Yeah.
So he will be back.
With She-Ra.
With She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Mm.
Yeah, they're gonna make sounds like they're gonna make a franchise. I imagine. I mean, we're recording this very shortly after it's come out. But I imagine by the time our episode comes out, the box office numbers will be pretty high for Masters of the Universe.
Maybe. It's sitting at
I don't think it'll be Barbie high.
No.
But I think it'll be pretty high.
It's sitting at less than half right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's only been out for a week.
That's true.
So, we'll see. Yeah, I'm trying to think. The other thing is that, I mean, I feel like I'm just getting into the trivia without getting into the trivia.
Get into the trivia, like...
I didn't take a lot of trivia for the new one down.
We didn't take any notes, like, for the new one, because we
true.
were, like, watching the movie and eating popcorn, but...
Yeah. I did... what was I going to talk about? It was... I don't know if I even took this down, actually. But essentially... Oh, yeah, so the reason in the 87 one that Skeletor's troops are mostly like robots, but then also like his kind of main guys are not characters who existed on the toy line. They're made up for the movie.
Right.
Is because Mattel didn't want any of the characters from the toy line to be killed in the movie.
Right.
So anything that gets killed is either a robot or a character that was made up for the movie. I think they said that He-Man, they didn't want He-Man to kill anyone on screen, which is why he only kills robots.
Right.
And then the other characters who get attacked or injured are not Mattel characters.
Makes
so
sense.
One of them does make an appearance in the new movie, so they brought one of the created for the 87 characters into the new one.
Well, there's another movie.
The budget was super, super tight. So first of all, they couldn't have a second unit to film pickup shots, so every cutaway shot and close-up of props was overseen by the director himself. And also, they were originally going to have Dolph Lundgren's voice be dubbed over because when he got the role, he couldn't speak English. And then he worked with a coach to like learn English, but still had a Swedish accent. So they were like, no, we're going to dub it over. But then they didn't have any money left in the budget, so they just left his voice as he recorded it. They also, so they told him that it was difficult to find a convincing stunt double for him because of his look and his build.
Yeah.
But also the budget was so tight that they couldn't afford a stunt double. So as a result, they convinced Dolph Lundgren to do most of his stunts himself, even though that was not what he wanted to do. But then, like, if there was anything that was really dangerous, they did get a stuntman in and had to, like, use high camera angles or show him obscured by shadows or things so that you couldn't tell it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of the stunts are done by Dolph Lundgren himself. Because I guess they didn't have someone who looked like Dolph Lundgren to play, especially when he's like naked pretty much for the whole movie. Frank Langella has gone on record in interviews saying that Skeletor is one of the favorite roles he's ever played. And it was literally his son used to run around the house shouting "by the power of Grayskull" playing with his He-Man toys, which is why he did that. He also wrote some of his own lines as Skeletor, including the one that says, "Tell me about the loneliness of good He-Man. Is it equal to the loneliness of evil?" Which is a great line and very Shakespearean. And that was just Frank Langella being like, I'm going to put this in here. I think I've kind of covered all of that then, actually. Because I already talked about Skeletor not being allowed to be too sexy. And then the only thing I took down about the 2026 one was that Karg from 87 appears in it, even though he was supposed to be like a stand-in for Trapjaw, and Trapjaw is in the remake. There are like other bits of trivia about it, but I feel like most of the trivia about it is like about Jared Leto or about other people who were considered for roles, because it seemed to be in production for quite a long time, or pre-production. Yeah. So like multiple different people got cast in roles and then dropped out because of the time frame.
What I was reading earlier, there's been a lot of issues with like making a new one, even between who it got transferred to, because this is an Amazon, like MGM's owned by Amazon. Also, which I found really funny when someone got hit by an Amazon truck when they're on Earth, and I was like, The amount of product placement in 87 was insane. It was like the character fills up a glass with Coca-Cola and then puts the can down, but obviously the logo wasn't facing the camera properly. So the next scene, it's like facing properly, and you're like, yep.
The end credits of the original also have like a whole thing about all the brands that they're thanking at the end as well. I was going to say the one actor that I will talk about who was considered, I don't know if they were cast, but at least considered and then backed out because of scheduling issues, was Tom Hardy as Skeletor, which would have been, I feel like that would have been cool. So that's kind of a shame that didn't happen. But again, Skeletor is so well written that it works no matter who it is, I feel like. So, we will have to just deal with it being Jared Leto. Maybe they'll recast him for a sequel. I'm trying to think of what else. The music. I do want to talk about the music, because I think the music is fantastic.
In which? In
the new one. I mean, the music is good in the original, but it's just like that leitmotif of the do 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 do. The key tones play in like all of the music. But in the 2026 one, Brian May plays guitar throughout the movie. Like the first, like there's like bits that I was just like, this sounds like Queen, but it's not Queen, and then it was like, oh, that's why. Yeah. They do put in What's Up by the Four Non-Blondes, which for anyone who doesn't know was very famously like a remix of it was used in a meme of He-Man that was very, very popular for a long time. So I thought that was very funny that they actually put that in the movie. Again, very self-aware. And then also, for the last like week and a half, every time we've talked about watching these movies, I have started singing Princes of the Universe by Queen. Yeah. And then I've had to be like, I know that's not from this movie. I know it's a Highlander song. It's not a Master of the Universe. Highlander
references in the movie.
They did make Highlander references as well. And then they did put in Princes of the Universe. Yeah. And I was like, yes, the song is in the movie.
That was probably my favorite scene, because they like bust out of prison or bust into like the fortress, and they're like doing that whole hero walk
in slow motion,
like slow motion, shoulder to shoulder, and the room's full of dust because of the explosion of how they got into the like corridor. And you got Prince of the Universe playing, and then they all start reacting to the fact that they're like breathing dust. And it was such a funny scene, because it's like as I mentioned earlier, like all of these movies these days, like from Avengers, from like no one ever gets really hurt. And it's like, oh my god, my shoulder's sore, I'm gonna hold my arm slightly for like 3 scenes and we'll forget about it. But these are just like, people get killed. And you're like, oh shit, that guy's dead. That guy's super dead.
Yeah. And even like the heroes accidentally killing people. Yeah. Like He-Man accidentally kills his own father. Yeah. Spoilers. But like that scene is very funny to me as well, because they're all like in this prison cell together, and they've kind of given up, even though they're all these like superhuman, characters. And he's like, if there's one thing I learned about the workplace, it's that you got to work together and build your strength. But their strengths are all the same thing. Their strengths are all like, hey, we're beefy guys with brute strength. And then he's like, they're like, but the metal can't be bent. And he's like, but the wall around it is rock. So they all just like shove on the gate and get a robot to shoot the rock above it so that they can like push the gate out of the wall. Yeah, that's their teamwork, is that they're all just using their brute strength to get out.
It is very much like a himbo moment of just being like, oh, we're in prison. Oh, well, that's the end of that then, I guess. We're just going to sit here and not try to escape. It's like, but if we try to escape, we might escape. Oh my god, he suggested we try and escape. Oh my god, guys, we escaped.
Also that it's like...
It was super easy.
It's like when he met them first and he was like, oh, you're Ram Man. And they're like, what? No. And he's like, but you ram people. And he's like, no, don't say it. Oh no, Fisto. You're Fisto. You fist people. And he's like, no. And then in that scene, he's just like, I know you guys. You're Ram Man. You're a man who rams. You're Fisto. You fist people. They're like, yeah! It's like, these are the exact same lines that he delivered that you were opposed to before.
It's also very funny.
And now it's motivational.
It felt like whoever was writing this originally, because like, I'm going to mention it again, I have no concept of this entire franchise whatsoever. I know Skeletor, I know He-Man, I know he's got like a cowardly tiger thing.
Cringer.
I know about the like flying wizard mage guy that's very much like a Final Fantasy
that
mage.
They replaced with Grimlore in the original.
And I knew he had a sister who was She-Ra, but like other than that, mind blank. So you could have convinced me that he was like, 'cause it feels like a very old name, that his name originally from the original thing was Fisto and Ram Man.
Oh, I think they are. I do think they are, but I think that's the thing, is that like they were names of like toys, Ram Man, Fisto, that then just were called that in the animated series and no one questions it.
Yeah.
But then, looking at it in 2026 and trying to treat them as like real people, that they're like, that's not my name. I think that's very fun. That, like, he, as He-Man, is calling them all these names.
Yeah.
But that's not what their actual names are. It's just that he was 10 years old when he got separated from his planet and had to draw drawings of the guys he remembered watching, but doesn't know any of their names, so just, like, made up names for them.
It's also the I think one of the other things we haven't touched on is the flatmate.
Right.
Because the flatmate is, like, always watching, like, soap operas and crying when he bursts.
No, he's watching rom-coms. So he's watching The Notebook, and actually not even rom-coms, romantic dramas, because he's watching The Notebook, and then he's watching 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
And just, like, weeping.
Yeah.
And then, like, turns it off and pretends to be doing something else.
Yeah, watching sports. But it is very much, like, he sees Adam as, like, a worthless flatmate who's, like, obsessed with some weird fantasy that he came up with as a child. And it's even the scene where he's, like, brought to eternity at the end of the movie, being like, see, I wasn't lying.
Yeah.
See, bro, I wasn't just, like, making up weird stuff because I was clearly, like, a traumatized child.
He's just like, okay.
Yeah. It's very fun. I don't know, is there anything else you want to cover? It was a very fun movie.
It is a very fun movie. I mean, they're both good movies.
Yeah, both were very fun movies.
It's kind of funny that really actually this 87 one is more serious.
Yeah. It's darker because, like, that was, like, the way people made movies then.
Yeah. Though it is interesting that, like, at the end of the movie, they send Julie and Kevin back in time to the day her parents died.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but does that mean that, like, none of what happened?
Maybe.
Because obviously she gets a chance to save her parents, but then, like...
Yeah, but it's the same with, like,
in that
we covered Jumanji.
I know, yeah, but in Jumanji, they remember for the rest of and they change things, but like in this version of events, do then like after her parents die, does the key come through from Eternia? Do He-Man and the others show up, but now she knows about them and she's like, oh, I can tell you how to get back, and then it like becomes a weird cycle?
No, that's too logical of thinking for a movie of this genre.
Doesn't make much sense. It's a strange thing to think about.
Maybe it's like Terminator, where every time they time travel, it makes a new alternate universe.
Yeah, that's what happens in Back to the Future as well. Which is why I always want to know what happened to Marty McFly B.
Yeah.
Because Marty McFly A takes over the life of Marty McFly B.
Yeah.
And we don't know what happened to Marty McFly B. And also in Universe A, Marty McFly disappears and Doc Brown is found dead, killed by Libyans.
Yeah.
And no one ever finds Marty because he stopped existing.
Yeah.
So anyway, so does that mean there's a version of? Does that mean in the Earth that we saw, Julie and Kevin just got like abducted by aliens and then never were heard from again?
Probably.
I mean, that's also what happened with Mr. Strickland. That's not his name in this movie, but I don't remember. Ludovic? No, that's not his name either.
Yeah.
Because he did actually just go and live on another planet and ditch his entire life and not say anything to anyone. Which is...
That's why headcanon.
Yeah. I do like, though, I keep coming back to the... I saw a review on Letterboxd of Masters of the Universe 2026 before we saw it, and it just said, this is the film that was playing in my head when I was smashing my action figures together as a child, and like 100% accurate. That is what this movie is. There's a lot of exposition at the beginning, though.
Yeah.
Because of it, but I do think it's very funny that they frame the exposition. They have like Adam narrating the story of his childhood before he got like sent to Earth, and then it turns out it's him like telling a girl that on a Tinder date because she asked where he came from.
Yeah.
Which is a very funny way to do it.
Yeah.
It is also very like the movie as a whole. I feel like is very Gen Z in weird ways. Yeah. Also, like every time he does something weird, just the people around him just take out phones and record it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very of the era.
Yeah.
Be interested to see what the next one's like.
Yeah, She-Ra.
If there is a next one, if this makes enough money for them to be a next one.
I think it will. I think they'll at least do a She-Ra, and maybe they'll do a He-Man too.
Maybe.
Or, sorry, it wasn't even called He-Man, a Masters of the Universe too.
I have no idea about She-Ra. It's very weird. I feel uncomfortable about how little I know about this universe, because like all the other universes I know something about.
All the other universes?
Yeah. Like, you could ask me about a lot of other, like, beloved, nostalgic childhood things, and I'd know at least something.
Yeah.
Like, I watched a lot of Transformers. I'm not up to date on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lore, but I do know about the fact they exist and the whole, like, thing.
Yeah.
Shredder.
Yeah.
Foot Clan.
Footbots.
Yeah, that's the fact of the accidents that turns the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they're not teenagers or mutants yet. It's the same accident.
Just the turtles.
Just the turtles. It's the same accident that causes Daredevil.
Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And the Footbots are the like sewer version of the Hand.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's just, so you heard it here, guys. TMNT is a Daredevil fan fiction.
Yep.
1000%.
Anyway, if you like that, go onto our website at takes2.co.nz.
If you like Daredevil fan fiction?
Yeah.
We don't actually currently have any Daredevil fan fiction on our website, but if you want to recommend some...
if you'd like to make someone, send it to us.
Yeah. That's definitely what this episode was about, was Daredevil fanfiction.
Yeah, it's all a gateway. It's always a gateway to Daredevil fanfiction.
And don't forget, I am immortal, and I have inside me Blood of Kings.
Yeah. We really should watch that animated Highlander movie at some point.
I guess so.
No guessing. Yeah, I think it's gonna be me from that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've run out of things to just watch them. Watch them.
Yeah, watch them. They're both fun. They're both silly.
They're fun and silly in their own way.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He-Man he's a hunk in 87 and he's a himbo in 2026. It's just wild to me that he didn't do any kind of practice to become a fighter, when that was like his whole backstory. He just like had a normal life and became like a HR guy.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that? And he doesn't even like really use his emotional intelligence from human resources. He like tries to talk to Skeletor, and Skeletor's like, no, I'm evil. What are you talking about?
That's great. In fact, Dolph Lundgren makes like a special appearance just to like give him. Like handing the mantle.
Yeah, and says good journey.
Yeah.
And then that he quotes him.
Yeah.
He has like one line pretty much, and then He-Man or Adam goes and quotes that one line later on in the movie to be like, oh, here's some wisdom I got. It's like, you met this one guy at the gym once.
Good times.
Yeah. Good cameo though.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.